Hey guys, Joey Vigor here. I was going to say back from Gen Con, but I'm actually not back from Gen Con. My car, which was full of board games and other things, got kind of broken down on the side of the road in Albuquerque, and I had to get towed. And then I had to get my car worked on, and they couldn't fix it. And they said that my engine would overheat, and I needed to blast the heater in the car the remaining 2,000 miles to Gen Con if I was going to get there without my engine overheating. So then the interior of my car overheated, my iPod overheated, my iPhone broke, and my computer melted, and the little thing that holds my phone with my maps on the dashboard, that melted off.
The heat in the car has melted my shoes off my...
But anyway, I made it to Gen Con, had a great time, saw a bunch of Chaosmos fans. Thanks to everyone who stopped by the booth. Thanks to Tim from Board Game Rundown for stopping by, and to Jeff Zidek for hanging out and having a good time. It was just awesome. We just had a great time. Okay, so I wanted to do a better update just to show off the Chaosmos components for this new edition that's coming out very soon. I couldn't approve 100% of the components. I went over it with the manufacturer in person at the show, so we're on the same page, but I couldn't approve every single component. There's a few things that just weren't right, but it's very close. So I'm just going to show you everything now that I'm in the light of day. I'm stuck on the East Coast at my parents' house for a few more days while my car's getting fixed. I've been here almost 2 weeks now. It's a lot of problems with my car, but that's a different video, and it's not for you. Okay, I'll show you the game. Let's get into it, and we'll look at all the components. This is the pre-press copy, so I can't wait to show you. Let's do it. All right, here is the box. It's a little beat up, a little worse for wear. It's been kicked around Gen Con, sliding around the back of my car. As you can see, it's got that beautiful UV coat there, which I'm very excited about. Happy about the cover. It's kind of hard to see in the video, but it's not too reflective, but it's a little reflective, which I like. We got some of the aliens on here. Love that guy. And then the back, oops, I got it upside down here. All right. So yeah, happy about that. I think the box is 17 and a half by 11 by 4.5, I think, something like that. All right. Oops, well, this is what happens, you don't put it away properly. Okay, so we've got the original rule book back here. This doesn't come with it, but I wanted to show you everything fits in the one box. So that's this is the original base game rules. And then the new one here. It's the same size, same material. And it talks about what's new and the initial box preparation. This is how to get what you get in the mail from me to combine with your original copy of the game if you have that. And if you don't have the original copy, then what you would have gotten is this plus an original copy. And you can keep it stored in 2 separate boxes, or you can put it all together in this box, and this tells you how to do it. All right. Oh, I'm kind of blocking the light. Oh, well. We've got a bunch of appendices here. So you don't need to read any of this stuff unless you have a ridiculously rare case, but you know how I am. I'm into rare cases. And we got a bunch of new Planet Effect tokens and the speed setup to get you rolling quick. Another aspect critical to the speed setup is the fold-out board here. I showed this in the other video, but again, it was dark when I showed it to you. So here's the 12 planet setup. Oopsie, this 10 planet setup, and then on the back side, 12 planet setup. And this is actually almost functionally identical to the modular hex version of the board. As you can see, I purposefully offset it a little bit here Danny did most of the graphic design layout here, so that these seams don't get covered by anything. So, and then you can put the clock on top of that. All right. All right. So that's the 12 planet and the 10 planet. And that's heavy. It's, I think, 2mm punch board, but then it's also coated by the thick sticker, so it's really nice. I still have not, even in this version, I still have not figured out where to put this thing. If I'm going to put it anywhere specific, I'm not sure. I thought about, having it like sit like here and maybe do a little cutout here. I may not. It kind of depends if everything else gets done in time, because I still want to ship the game from Asia on a boat in October, which is soon. It's only just over a month away. So if I don't have time to do this, then worst case scenario, it'll just sit on top, which is not the biggest problem in the world. This is just one of those clunky components that is just kind of too big from the beginning, and that's how it is. All right. As you can see, the alien boards are stunning, and they're not too glossy. You can still see them. I made them matte this time instead of glossy, so they don't look exactly the same as the originals. I prefer them this way. They're thick, heavy-duty boards. Love it. Everything's perfect. Everything else is the same. We've got Nixie, Izzet, the Arbiter, Vlaklos, the Haghuin, Dreeg. He's one of the new guys. Like, Izzet. Morals, you only get this board if you paid for him. He's a little bit changed, so if you have the original version and you don't want to buy him again, you can just see how the text is different here. And other than that, it's basically very similar. Eternic the Brutal, awesome new power. During combat, anytime you have initiative. Initiative, don't worry about that. The game is not more complicated than it used to be. It's the same as it used to be with combat. It just means that if it's your turn to play cards, basically, and there's explanations of how combat works, then you can set a card aside to reroll one of your dice. So instead of automatically getting to reroll both of your dice, and then that's pretty much the end of your power in combat, now you get a much more dynamic, back and forth, tactical experience deciding whether to reroll one of your dice or the other of your dice. We've got Terchalja. I love his backstory. He's just a beautiful guy, and I mean, he's made out of clay. They're all made out of clay. Thank you, William Toombs. Unbelievable. Clocknid, of course, in case you didn't already know, is like a Tickle Me Elmo, but for the intergalactic, advanced, multi-dimensional, fourth or fifth dimensional beings. So essentially, they're so intelligent that even their little Tickle Me Elmo type dolls are as intelligent as we are, basically. And so that's why they seem disconnected, but they're actually, all these parts are connected in a different dimension. Pretty wild stuff. Gazme, Drusu, Hamflagen. Love him. I love him so much. Look at all those arms. Disgusting. And the way this art was done is just unbelievable. It's all made out of clay, real clay, and his head was probably about yay big in real life. Unbelievable. Okay. Vroon, the first version of this character, Vroon, believe it or not, was created by the same guy who did this art, William Toombs, in 1994, back when we used to make little video games in software called World Builder, back in the pre-PowerPC Macs. And then when PowerPCs came out, this is, I don't know, 1993, 94, all of our games stopped working, unfortunately. Okay, and one more. We got Kiwen. Kiwen the Nomad. Look at his fat little belly. He collects trinkets, and he's like the cosmic pool guy. So, okay, so here's the box. This is what you see when you open the box. Biggest change, and this is the thing that makes me more proud than anything else probably in the whole... In fact, this is the number one reason I made this entire expansion, so that all of the envelopes could fit in the envelope box right there. And you wouldn't have to rebuild the envelope box each time. As you can see, there's 2 new planet envelopes. And if you look on top, just in case you know you're colorblind or if you have difficult eyesight and you want to be able to grab one of the new envelopes, you know, this one is sort of like a light, super light fuchsia. In case you have trouble differentiating it with the other colors, I added the little temple icons here on the new planets. So if you're just playing with 2 or 3 players and or 4 players, and you want just the 10 planets, then you just grab the 2 and take them out. And then if you're playing with these expansion characters that go with these planets, you can just take out any 2 non-critical planets that are opposite. So you could take out, for example, the red one and the white one, because on the board they're magnetically diametric because they have the white and the red. Okay, so there's that. Love that. You can even preload if you know how many players are going to be playing and how many envelopes and which characters you'll be playing. You can preload all the envelopes in advance, and then there's essentially no setup time, which is fun. If you're getting the super awesome tier, whatever that is called, it comes with all these plastic flags. Look how awesome these are. Look at that. They got little squirmy worms on there too. Nothing wrong with that. But of course, if you don't have that awesome tier, it's fine. I'll probably have some of these for sale maybe later, depending if I have any extras left. I was going to originally have each character come in its own bag, 9-inch bag, with its the little player shield. And then you could put the miniature and all the flags and 3 hyper tokens, and all that other good stuff into this one big bag. But I realized each bag is so lumpy if you do that I just couldn't fit it all. So the way I recommend you pack it is to just squish all these together, all of the player flags together, and then just kind of sit them on top, and then it fits. You know, we have all the new ones. Is it the Arbiter? We got a little bit of his story. The rump worm had already started thumping its thorny head on the ground and shaking its mane of quills in backwards imitation of us females. We could hear the dull thuds echoing somewhere out in the hedge. Anyway, the hedge. Yeah, so that's a whole nother story. As you can see, we have the new clock here. This is actually the planet he's from. If you look real carefully, you can see his entire planet consists of these tiny little squares and circles. These are basically well-kept lawns, basically. Well, it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. I'll do a different video about that. Okay, this is the new temple clock here. So it works just like the old clock. You're going to have to apply these rubber feet. I lost one at Gen Con, it looks like. You put 3 feet there on the bottom, and it'll come with that. And then when you click down, let me see if I have any of these. There it is. You can't actually see what I'm doing too well. Okay, so you load it like that, slide it in. There it is. You put them all in there. And then when you click along, so it's just 30, 29, 28, 27. It just, see how it lines up pretty much perfectly on there. And then when it comes along, and then when you reach, not that one, that's the 24 turn marker that marks when certain things get activated. But look, see, so on this one at 18, this happens. Cancel other events. Draw a new C1 event, a new C2 event, trigger them, but not their Concordias. Discard this card after resolve. And so then there's a thing that happened. Most of these are ongoing events. So that is that clock. I'm really proud of this. Underneath the tiles, there's space for your original deck. So I've replaced all the cards with a whole new version of the deck. And but if you want to save your old deck, hopefully you put it in a rubber band so you don't confuse them. But if you do confuse them, in the lower lower part, there's the new, actually this is the new, well, this is another copy of the new deck. But anyway, there's an icon. Oh yeah, here's an original card. This is what happens at Gen Con. All my copies get mixed up. See how there's no icon here? This is an original. And then original. Okay, and then this is the new Temple expansion. You could tell that because that little icon looks like this thing on the cover here. Okay, so you could put your original deck down there and then not worry about it. Just leave it there. Every now and then you might get a crazy event that does something with that original deck, so don't throw it out. You get some new planet effect tokens. These are fun. When you land on a planet, you may spend an action if there's a face-down token to turn it face up. Sorry, a free action, so it doesn't cost an action, but you can't do it in the middle of another action. You land on a planet, and you may turn that token face up and activate it. And then it says what it does on the back. There it is. I pretty much just threw all this stuff in here. Here's what the bases will look like if you got bases. I might add these for everybody. I'm not sure yet. It just kind of comes down to cost. This version has a spoke here. This is a mistake, but so when you put a flag down, you'll be able to see whose base it is, because there will be a flag on the base. But again, that spoke won't be there. You got dice. If you got the collector edition, you got fancy, silly dice. What in the world? Is that from a different game? Huh. Well, who knows? I guess that's in there. And then we got some, so here's more of these, and then that's a favor, black market targeting computer. This is what it looks like on the back of the favor deck. So yeah, if you don't have a partner, if you're teaming up when you're playing with a whole bunch of players, when you're playing with 4+ players, 4 to 6 players, there's Concordias where you can form alliances with someone else, or even up to 2 other people. And if you don't end up with an alliance, you can take 2 favor cards and choose 1. So it's sort of like action cards in Twilight Imperium. I'm not going to lie, Christian Peterson, I stole that from you. Okay, and as you can see, I wanted to thank, well, myself for designing the this plastic vacuum insert. I'm really happy about that. I really like the white color, makes everything pop. But thanks Sam Vest for designing it, or for building it in 3D for me. It's just wonderful. It makes me so happy. This is 30 years of my life has been this game, off and on, and my family. So yeah, it's pretty wild that we're at this sort of new juncture in the story of this game. Thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting the game. I'm sorry it's taken so long. Maybe one day I'll do a whole reconciliation on everything that happened as to why it took so long. But I'm feeling great. I'm healthy. I'm happy. And it'll ship on a boat in October, which means I think all of you should have it by certainly in November, hopefully, October, early November. And then, I'll probably still be dealing with 3 or 4 of you come January, December, January. But you know what? It is what it is. This is the life I set out for myself, and I'm happy with it. So, love you all. Thank you for believing in me. And I've been wearing these the whole time. Thanks for believing in me. Thanks for supporting Chaosmos. And I can't wait to show you what's coming in the future for this game and other games. All right. Have a nice day. Bye.